So we've got all our drop sticks. We've got 3 drop sticks here, 1 inch, 3/4, and then for the that one's tapped into the smart stream. So what I got done is, this is a 5.5, so 23 litres a minute. 23 litres a minute, just a 12-volt pump sitting down there. So it draws straight out of the chemical tank. It pumps into the chemical tank. So you get a line there and it pumps straight up into the chemical tank. So that's where that line goes. So it comes out of the 3-way valve. So I've got a 3-way valve with 1 meter of hose that I can drop this into a drum on the ground, just suck it out of the drum with my arrow pointing back to this line, and then I can suck it straight out of the drum, pump it straight into my tank. So if I'm going to a chemical shop and they don't have a facility to pump straight into the drum, then I can pump straight out of a barrel, or pump straight out of a 20-litre drum and fill it up that way. The reason I've got a 3-way valve on this is connected straight up to my tank, and then I turn the 3-way valve to water for about 5 seconds, just to flush out that pump every time I fill up. So I flush it out, and then I'll turn it back to my line and pump air into the line. So I pump air all the way back up here to cause an airlock. The main reason we want to do that is because we don't want the gravity, the feed, the chlorine all the way back down, then back up through your pump and then all the way back down, because it will siphon itself out, because that's lower than your tank. Most of the time I have it up like that, so then the outlet is way above my tank. And then if I see chemical in the hose here, then I know the 3-way valve has failed, and then I'll zip tie it up there and I'll go get a new 3-way valve. But don't think a pump will stop the flow. The flow for the pump, the flow will just go straight through the pump. So that's not going to stop it at all. So we make sure we got an airlock in that hose, so that way it's not pumping water or chemical through there. And that's basically how I transfer. And I've got a Tasmanian oak dowel, and I got it measured at 20-litre increments to the bottom of my tank. So this dipstick is a year old, and it's been eaten up a little bit by the chlorine. So it gets dipped in pure chlorine, and I don't really wash it. So it does eat the oak away a little bit, but you know, if we make 1 stick a year, it doesn't really matter. I've got 2 back up at home. So yeah, that tells me how many litres I got in my tank at all times. If you got a clear tank, then you could probably just mark on the side 20 litres, 50 litres, whatever. But I got a black tank because that was the right size tank for the area that we wanted to fit it in and how much chemical we could hold. So that was just the way we went with that, and it just worked. And then I've got a clear tank for my soaps. So that's all my soap in there. It's a 50-litre tank for my soap. So that's pretty much how I transfer all my chlorine or SH. 2 ways. Drop it in the top or pump it in. That way I don't have to try and pour it in that hole anymore, because that's a pain in the ass. So if you got an old 12 volt, you can rig them up pretty easy. You don't have to have a three-way valve. If you can disconnect that top one, then you don't have to have a three-way valve, but I set it up where I don't have to touch it. I might replace that once every year or once every 2 years, but that's better than not touching it. So that's all bolted in, so I just unscrew that out and put a new one in. Pretty simple. Take a couple minutes to do it if I need to replace it.